Evening everybody. As you can see, here we have the Mamod Showman special traction engine. Many of you will probably know, but there are two similar engines like this. This is the more powerful one with the sleeve valve engine. The other model is looks pretty similar, but it's got the standard oscillating cylinder setup, and I've just found out that it's only there's no speed control, and there's therefore no reversal control either. Just sort of put me off a little bit, although the intention sort of is to get one of those. We're still thinking about that. Might see if Mamod on a new one can put a speed control on for me. Just show you a bit around the engine. Obviously a lot of it is very similar. The flywheel is a solid one. I'm just looking at it now to see what, I'll have to have a good close look at that, because it seems it's got a disc infill in it there, a push on disc, hubcap sort of thing if you like, I suppose. And looking at it, it's a push fit one, I think. I can't see anything to suggest. Oh no, there it is. It's a small Allen screw by the looks of it on the inside. Now, being the special one, you can see the LED lights for each side, powered by this Dynamo here, which looks very similar to the Maplin's electric motor that I bought for my own tests a while back. I had a word with Mamod when I bought it, and I asked Pete there what's the maximum output. In volts it's 3.6 volts, he says. I don't know what the LEDs must all add up to, at least that I suppose, otherwise I'll pop. The intention is to drive, as I've mentioned previously, drive the Meccano Ferris wheel off that, hopefully with the lights on as well. Maybe a bit too much to ask, even with the lights disconnected, but we'll try, we'll have a play. It's been out the box for a while, but I haven't done anything with it. I'll just tick around a few other things. As you can see there, it's got steering on, which again most of you probably know. Not exactly dummy steering, it does actually work, but there's no steering wheel on it. The intention is to put some steering on like one of my other traction engines, which has got Meccano steering here. But this time, if there's clearance, just a quick look at it now, it's really going to be after a right-hand drive anyway, which I do prefer. But this obviously takes up a bit more room than the oscillating system, oscillating cylinder setup. And I'm going to have to come down a bit sharper here, because I'm hoping to utilise its own drum there for the and the chains, of course. I haven't looked into it yet, that'll come much later. I'm going to unscrew that, see what we've got inside, see if we can adapt, maybe using that screw there, adapt a Meccano frame, a simple frame, using small narrow strips for the steering there, and bring it up here, pretty much as the other one. There is a very basic video on that one, one of the first ones I did. It's only with the phone, so it's not brilliant. Anyway, as you can see, there's the sleeve valve cylinder piston setup with eccentric valve gear. But as you can see, the colours are a bit different, you know, being red and yellow. The piston cylinder valve setup and the dynamo, the lights, different transfer, but that's it really. Not a cheap model, but a very pretty model. Now, to take off the roof is pretty similar to that of a normal traction engine, except the roof being extended to accommodate the dynamo. There's a nut underneath here, which is a bit more fiddly to get hold of, but it's the same. Screws against the funnel. Got it there. All this comes off in one. There's a small little brass peg at the rear here, I'll show you in a minute, that slots into a hole in the smoke box. So you just lift up, take the driving band off, and there you are. I kind of swing away hinge. I'll just get it off the back of the traction engine. I'll show you the roof. There we go. The traction engine out the way. So there's the Dynamo setup, twin pulley setup there, all on one. I see that's lifting, that transferred. If it comes off easily, I might have a look at that, see what the motor is exactly. But it looks very similar to the one I got from Maplin's. And there on the circuit boards there you can see the LEDs connected at the other end. No switch, which is perhaps easy enough to get round, which I might have to look at. We'll see how we get on. The circuit boards, the LEDs, are screwed in with a small brass spacer each side, and the roof hooks up in the back as the normal way, hooks into the back of the firebox. So there we are. That's the roof and the Dynamo and the lights. Try and put that out of the way so it doesn't fall over. Now, a bit more close up look at the engine itself. Now you can see probably a bit better now the flywheel and the chains. And I've only just realised this, although I've had a quick look at it, although I've been had it out the box some time, holiday and the other Meccano model got in the way. You can see there the bracket's a different shape completely, well, extended, a bit like a cantilever set up there. Control valve on the top, lubricator cap, the valve gear slip eccentric there, as mentioned before. Let's see, you might just be able to see there a hole for a small Allen screw to hold it on. I do prefer that idea of a screw, bolt or Allen grub screw type, because sometimes I like to get that off and have a play, especially when I'm stripping one down. And if you've been up to date with the thread on this one, they don't come with a steam exhaust to the smoke stack there. Every steam engine should have that. If it's got a chimney, it should have that, in my book. It's just wrong not to have it. I did get Mamod to do that for me as an extra. It did cost me more into the base of the smokestack, and there's still a hole of one of the more basic ones. I would have that done again on another model if I did go this way with another sleeve valve engine. So there we are, that's about it. Some differences, nothing too major really. I haven't even sorted the boiler out, which is what I'm going to do next, so we'll see you in a bit. Right, I've filled the boiler with a mixture of lemon juice and warm water. In this case it's a 70% water, 30% lemon juice. Just let it soak a bit, I'll give it a few shakes. Basic stuff now folks really. What you get, usual box of fuel, which we won't be using, not directly anyway, because we're going to run it on meths, purely because it's cleaner. Your usual 2-tablet burner tray, scuttle of course, which shall be used but with a meths burner fitted in it. Small bottle of steam oil, 50ml, which I've worked out is Morris Lubricant steam oil. And I think it's about 80 odd quid, I think, plus VAT for a 25 litre drum. Which would be handy, but it's a bit excessive, I suppose. And of course the steering stick, most of my other engines are second hand and some age, and they haven't got a steering stick, although I think there is one for the steam wagon somewhere. Anyway, usual steering stick, I suppose, but rather nicely turned top, although looking at it, it could be a door handle, which, if it is, it suits the job excellently. So usual basic stuff there. Of course you do get the one drive band extra, the longer one, to take drive to the dynamo from the flywheel. And of course to disengage the drive, just take off the small belt off the main driving wheel. Box is pretty standard, instructions on the box standard. There is a note about removing the oil after it's cooled down from the cylinder with a syringe. That's the first one I've seen that on. Whether it's an older instruction, I don't know, but that's the first one I've seen. You get the usual instruction book, the certificate of the boiler test, leaflets, and this extra bit, which is the fitting and removing of the roof, as I've already shown. That extra bit there. So there, it says here the engine should always be run connected to either the generator or the rear wheels, or both. If the engine is run with the generator and rear wheels connected, it is recommended that 4 pellets are used in the fire tray. Well, you could only do that with the round ones because the square ones wouldn't fit 4. And it says take care of the LEDs, nothing fancy. Backing them out. Right folks, boiler wash completed, a couple of flushes with the water lemon juice mixture, and flushed out with just clean water. Just 1 or 2 black bits in there, nothing much to worry about at all. When I was telling you what was in the set, of course I forgot the funnel. All the oiling's been done. I haven't oiled the wheels with any light oil because it's not going along the road yet. I probably will add usual tyres at a later date. I think I've got some spares. We've got steam oil obviously in the cylinder, steam oil on the, if you like, the little ends and the slide, the valve and the piston rod. A lighter oil on the slip eccentrics, pivots and the crank itself, and we'll just wait for steam to get up. Not far off already, just clearing the condensate out the cylinder. One thing the instructions don't say, at least I haven't found it, is how to actually turn the tap, which way does it is, but that seems on. Let's try that. Yeah, that seems off. That's off flat out by the look of it. So we're nearly there. This is the absolute first steaming. I haven't run it yet. This is the first time we've tried to run it. Seems like middle is on. There we go. Even though it's got a bit of rubber on there, it does get quite warm. That is so smooth and raring to go. We need a little tube on that, I think. Good whistle. See how slow it gets to go. I mean, it's probably not quite at full operating pressure yet, but that's a very smooth runner. and we've got the exhaust steam coming out of the smokestack, as it should, because it is not, it's just wrong. Picking up a bit now. I think the whistles are slightly loose, just the right one. Try not to burn myself. Don't want to go any more than that. Got it. Well, that seems to have sealed now. I'm not too keen on these larger washers. I find that you've got to be so careful on tightening them because they tend to dish slightly and then they leak. But we're up and running now. Quite nicely. I think I'll make use of this spanner, get a cool one. Make use of this spanner. Motoring lovely. That is quite a poker machine. That is very, very rapid. Very, very rapid indeed. And very, very powerful. So we've got a bit of tightening up. Which we'll do that now. I got these spanners from Maplins. They are actually metric, but there's quite a few halves, so they tend to be quite a good fit. Most of them. This one isn't so good. Needn't worry about this. It does actually say on some of the stationary models that check the nuts after a run or two. It's a 9. We need an 8.5 really, I think. might have. An 8. I think I lost one. That's better. Now I'll check these. Probably a bit early to do this, but as I've got the spanners out, well, that one is loose. Well, because I've tightened the other two a little bit. You notice I'm doing them crossways. That's a bit of a trade-off from doing heads on petrol engines. Should be fine there. Now, I know this is the first time out for myself and the engine, but I don't seem to be able to shut off the valve completely. Obviously that's wide open. And that shuts it down quite a bit. And that was another bit. It seems as if it's like a two-way valve. So you can just turn one way, I'll turn the other. Ah. There, you got it then. So I'll have to inquire about that. Make sure that's as it should be. Obviously it will have to run in a bit anyway. So now what I'll do, I'll put the drive belt for the Dynamo on and the roof on, and we'll see how that works. We've got the roof on. Been a bit confused there with the pulleys. Just slip the drive band on, and it's the one nearest the Dynamo that's in line. A bit more myths and then we'll get her going again. Right folks, I've re-lubed the cylinder, the piston rod and the slide valve, just trying to start on her own. Make sure the burner's in right. Just about ready to try again, but this time with the lights on. I'll get it going first with the light on so I can see what I'm doing. Get rid of the condensate. Wants to go backwards. I'm guessing it needs to go forwards. Oh, there are the lights. Red! Slow her down a little. It's a bit hard to find anything to grab. I've got my multimeter here, see what is coming out of the motor. Probably not a good test, we need to be at the other end really. And we'll switch the lights off shortly. Oh, I can see some contacts if I can get at them. Right. When's it done? It's got to come back. Let's see what we get here anyway. I'm getting 1.4 volts like that. Let's try the motor end. It's got to go back there. I can get at it. Not being much of a reading at that end. It fluctuates a bit. Let's see the wires go first. They go up into the roof, then down to there, then across the back, along the other side, and back again, I suppose. So we'll take a reading here again and see what we get. It is awkward. Oh, 1.4. At 1.4 volts, just like that. Now we'll attempt to wind her up a bit and see what we get. Obviously she's going like the clappers now. 1.8. There. But will she have enough to drive the Ferris wheel? Quite a glow around the engine. Seems to be sustaining that quite well. Very nice effect. As you can see, quite a nice effect. Right folks, there is the Ferris wheel, which you can see a bit more about in the video on the Ferris wheel itself. I've had to take the wires out the switch, and I've connected crocodile clips there, as you can see, the wire to the motor, and we come all the way down to here where we've done the same at the other end. We have water, we have mess oiled again. This will be the third run, and I really don't hold out much hope. Maybe it would with the LEDs disconnected, which to be honest I don't really want to do, but it's an experiment and we'll try. If the wheel doesn't turn, I'll disconnect it so it's just the motor, and then we'll see if that works. Now I've tested the output now. At that speed I'm getting 0.65 of a volt, which won't be enough. Just check, see what it's coming a bit. It's just getting up to a decent amount of steam. And at there I'm getting 0.66 of a volt. I'm just going to let it build up a bit. It may be that that's the fastest it will go with it connected. So we'll see. Going well now. We'll check the volts here. 1.2. I really need about 1.25, 1.3 to make a go of it, I think. Let's we'll shut off, build up as much steam as we can, and then we'll go for it. I had to start it with a flick of the worm gear, but there you go. I'm amazed. I'll just nip across, and you should be able to see the lights on as well in the background. I am really amazed that that's worked. Yes, it's slower than it was before, and it'll probably only last 5 minutes with that. The engine's going more or less flat out, although it wasn't blowing off. Let's just time it, and it comes round again. Going a little bit slower now. That's about 17 seconds, just under 4 revs per minute, not bad. And just to prove that it is driven by the engine, I'm now going to shut the engine down. And you see it stop. I'll let it build up a bit more. A flick of the wheel, the flywheel. As you can see, won't start on its own. But a flick of the wheel, just hardly a touch. A little bit more juice, or if it was really blowing off, it would, well, it might do. I'm surprised you got this far. I think we're running out of meths. I've just noticed there that worm drive isn't as central as it might be. What I'm going to do, I'll let it cool, I'll put some more meths and we'll do it again. Right folks, we've replenished the meths. We've oiled the cylinder block, the rods again, the sleeve, valve. I have to say I'm totally amazed really. It might be simple physics and science, but with that power available from the dynamo and driving the LEDs as well, which seem to take a fair bit of the current. When Pete said 3.6 volts maximum, I'm guessing that's offload, and it seems that it we'll check again in a bit, but it seems that it's working on well, it seemed to be just over 1 volt, which is far better than the batteries. Although they died out at about 1.2 volts and the motor stopped. Perhaps the Dynamo is giving more oomph, but not quite as much volts. Anyway, we'll let it get up steam again, and we'll try again in a moment. Seems that we are nearly ready, so pardon me for running across the screen. We'll open up. Oh, it's going to fly, hopefully. Get rid of the condensate. That's really going there. Started on its own. Not quite glowing off. Excuse me again. It's a little awkward here. I am getting 1 point, it's fluctuating a bit, anywhere between about 1.5 and 1.9 volts when it was going faster. I've put the engine around the back, which is probably not a very good thing to do. Let's shut it down a little bit if I can. I mean, as long as it turns it, even at this pace, it'll last longer obviously, so not too bad at all. I am impressed. I know it doesn't take a lot to impress me, but that is good. Just dying there. Well, just starting again on its own. Would you believe was around 0.7 volts? So we'll stop it again, let it build up, and run it more controlled. We'll try again. Not enough there now. Definitely stating the obvious, but there's a greater load there. I hope you can see a bit more of the engine now. I think you can just see it running. See what happens now. It's trying, not quite enough. Building up pressure now. That's probably the best thing to do, just leave it to moderate speed, a moderate opening of the valve, and just let it build up itself. That's 1 volt, just a shade under 0.95. It'd be nice to go a little bit faster, so between about 1.15 and 1.25. It is quite fiddly with the roof on, and to be honest, I've hardly ever run one with the roof on. Mainly because most of mine ain't got roofs. Right, going at a fair rate now. That's 1.58, just over 1.5. Excuse me again. And then you see, I should see the lights in the background. And in the absence of lights on the Ferris wheel, that wasn't worthwhile, was it? Anyway, there you go, running quite nicely. There's no doubt about it, having the smoke coming up to the exhaust, to the smokestack, it's just got to be. And what I need now is one of those extension accessories, extensions for the Ferris wheel to make it look the part. So I'll just let it run for a bit. That might get a bit boring, but it's running quite well. I'll shut up now. Just going to check the water level. Oh yeah, plenty. Let's see if it'll build up. There's no doubt about it that the meths these days is nowhere near as good as it used to be. And that's a fairly new bottle. So there we go, folks. Amazing. See you next time.